box that I started with. It's an olive oil box, and it had a slide opening, so I decided to use some wood glue and glue the box closed so that I could have a nice three-dimensional piece. I thought about collaging the door separately so that it would be a functioning storage container, but I didn't really like the way the door slid open. So it's glued shut, and now I'm using gel medium to glue down some papers, some wipe off papers from jelly printing. Mostly I pulled out papers that were extra thin because they would be easy to put around the corners of these flat sides. And so as they went around the corner, you can see I'm very generous with my medium. You could use any kind of glue. You could use PVA glue. I just happen to have matte medium that squirts out of a bottle. It's a really easy way to apply it. When I collage, I use a lot of medium. I put medium under the paper, over the paper. It looks kind of hazy when you put it down this thickly, but it dries perfectly thin, and this way I don't get bubbles once it's dry. So I'm just tearing out bits and pieces of paper. Some of these jelly prints were printed on magazine pages, so they're very thin. Some of them are deli papers. Some of them are well, very thin papers. So I'm doing, I think, the third side here. Tissue paper. Couldn't think of the word. Tissue paper. So I have a few sides done, and I took a break, went to lunch, and I decided to put a white background behind it so you can see better what I'm doing. So I'm continuing to finish up the sides and the little holes in the where you can see the wood. Just cutting some corners there so that they'll fold over. I work on one side and then turn it and work on another side. So Central Market is the brand of HEB grocery store. And so this must have been an olive oil box where they imported an olive oil. That piece, the light colored piece there, is actually a piece of palette paper that had dried, and I put it in my collection of collage papers. You could use anything to collage with, really, but when I'm working, like I said, with a three-dimensional piece where I want the papers to go around the corner, I work with fairly thin papers. It's just easier to work that way. This is kind of a calico effect, and when it's dry, it'll be up to me to kind of pull the whole thing together. We'll see whether I do that successfully or not. But right now I'm not worried about what I'm putting where, because there are always marks that I can make at the end. I can even paint over this or glaze over it with a transparent or translucent color if I want to. So there is my wet finished product. I will be setting it aside here and checking it out. Okay, this is another day, and I'm going to use my Posca pens here and make some marks and kind of make some colors travel from one area to another. Just working very intuitively, playing with the variety of marks, stripes, and patterns and circles, lots of different marks. But when I work with these Posca pens, this allows for color to travel from one section to another. So, for instance, my areas of pink papers, I can use a Posca pen and add pink elsewhere on this three-dimensional object. So I'm continuing to play. This piece really didn't take very long. All in all, I probably put in less than an hour, and I was really pleased with the results. You can tell me whether you agree with me or not, but when I get to the end, it does look to me like a finished piece. You'll see. I'm having fun with these Posca pens. There's really no way to do this wrong. There I'm using my finger and sort of smudging some areas. As I put them down, you have to work pretty fast with Posca if you want to soften some marks, make soft edges, I should say, because it dries very fast. So I'm trying to go with some of the colors that I see on this box. I'm grabbing colors that I see and I'm moving those colors into a variety of areas, sort of harmonize the colors a little bit. I apologize, in a few cases here I'm going off the edge of the picture frame, and I apologize because I was really having so much fun I wasn't paying attention to the fact that I went off the camera a little bit, but I felt like it stayed in the camera enough that you can get the idea of what I'm doing anyway. I'm creating some white dots, and there is the piece finished. Pretty happy with it. I'll let you see the whole way around. It's a non-objective piece. My friends often chide me that my pieces do have sort of a floral feel to them. I do like flowers. I like to paint flowers. So I have not varnished this yet, but as it stands now, I really like it, and when I varnish it, it will really bring the color out. And there it is, finished but unvarnished. Okay, here I'm going to show you that I'm using this Minwax product called polycrylic, and I'm stirring it ever so gently, because when you stir varnish, you don't want to create bubbles in the varnish. So you want to mix it up so that all of the liquid gets mixed together, and but you don't want to create air bubbles. What I'm doing right here is I'm carefully varnishing the edges the whole way around this gallery wrapped canvas. I want my edges to be thoroughly covered before I start at the top. And now I'm showing you in real time that I slowly work horizontally back and forth from the top of the painting, making sure that I have plenty of varnish. So if it were standing upright, it would not be dripping, but I am making sure that I'm covering thoroughly. Now I want you to see the difference in rich color between where I have varnished and where I haven't varnished. Now I know that you're seeing some glare, and I can't really help that, but I'm going to drop in a couple of pictures so you can see up close the difference in richness of color. The top, you can see, is rich, and the bottom is pretty dull. And here is another example. The top is enriched by the varnish. Here I'm just showing you a passage. In this particular painting, I have varnished the sides and I'm working down horizontally, my first coat of varnish. But I'm going to give you a close-up once again so that you can see the difference of richness, of saturation of color. Here you go. At the top is where it's varnished. At the bottom, it's not varnished yet. Now I will say that this varnish is glossy and everybody doesn't like the glossy sheen. So I want to emphasize that if you use gloss for your first coat, you can choose whatever sheen you want for your remaining coats. You can have this painting be satin or a matte finish, but I suggest bringing out the colors with gloss on your first layer of varnish. Now here, this is kind of interesting. I found out that I had used a water-soluble marker of some kind, maybe, I'm not sure, charcoal or something, and so I smeared those dark lines and I'm just cleaning that up a little bit. I don't really have a problem with marks that move around, but I just wanted a little bit of control over how they looked when they were finished. I sort of let the varnish brush soften those lines a bit. So, thank you for watching. I hope you learned a few things along the way about collaging and varnishing, and thank you for your patience because sometimes I'm learning along the way as well. I wanted to tell you that next week, next Thursday, I plan to talk to you a little bit about the way that I go about my business of marketing my pieces. There's a whole process of organizing them, archiving them, naming them, writing some things on the back. I've covered some of those things before, but I want you to see my whole process, including how I post it to my gallery. It's a gallery for artists to post their artwork, and if you do that, you get 100% of the price of your painting, and the website figures the postage so that your customer knows how much postage to pay you, and it gets all done automatically. So tune in next week, and I'll share some of those secrets with you. Don't forget to subscribe. If you hit the little bell, it will send you an email reminding you that I have a new video up. Thanks again. See you next week.